Hi, I got a great email from a player who didn't understand what harmonics were. Kept reading about them in Bass Player magazine and just didn't know what they were and how you can get them. And there's actually multiple ways. There's natural harmonics and there's false harmonics, and I'll show you some different ways to get it. Primarily, the most time people mention harmonics, they're talking about lightly covering a fret and playing to get this really neat upper overtone to come out. And I'm not going to get into like how you're dissecting the string and you can get octaves and thirds and all those. I'm just going to show you the basic technique so you can work on it. Now honestly, the easiest harmonics to get are on the 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, and 12th fret. But they're all over. You can find them in between frets. You can play them as unison notes and get a chord. But really the basic technique for natural harmonics is easy. You lightly cover a fret, and I mean lightly, like if you were touching something and you're not sure if you're going to break it, and so you really just try to lightly touch it. And then you pluck with your right hand as hard as you possibly can to get a really loud tone. And they're all over. You can get them everywhere. Well, not technically everywhere, but you know what I mean. Now there's also a couple other ways. Jaco Pastorius made it really popular to use his thumb to make a node and then pluck behind it. And this is a technique that is called pinched harmonics, some people play. But the idea is you fret a note and then you find the midway point between that and you put your thumb lightly over that point and then you pluck with your finger behind, or you pinch and you get a harmonic. Now if you do it within the range of the fingerboard, it's quite simple. Like if I hold down this D on the G string, I can find, and it's you can't see the face, but it's the 3rd dot, it's the 7th fret. But if I go to the 3rd dot above the double dots, I have a D here. And if I put my node right there and pinch it, I get a harmonic. Now admittedly, that's not my favorite technique to use. I had the great fortune to study with Steve Bailey, the amazing bassist. God, I can't even describe how all the things he does and how great he is. But he uses a different approach. I think he called it the movable node. But instead of using his thumb to create that harmonic point, he used his finger, and then he would pluck with one of these fingers behind. And he had a good point. The farther he could get the plucking from the node, the louder it became. So let's go to that same D. Now I lightly cover the D here, and I pluck with my finger. And you get a harmonic. Now what I like about this technique, let's say I hold a chord, a C minor chord. I can actually easily get the harmonics to pop by using that movable node technique. So this is another one to practice. Now, and I know I'm just giving it a quick talk about, but you should go to Steve Bailey's website. The URL escapes me right now, but if you just Google Steve Bailey, and I believe on his website he covers it in more detail, and you can also check out his instructional videos where he talks about his movable node harmonic approach, which he's by far the master at. Now another harmonic is kind of a really falsy kind of harmonic, but it is used. You hear a lot of guys like Billy Sheehan use it, and guitarist Eddie Van Halen, but it's called tapped harmonics. And I prefer the tapped harmonics in more of a chordal session. Like in this example, if I hold down a D power chord, I can go up an octave higher, so I go to this D, this 5th, and this octave, and I can tap. The actual note, but you also get this overtone that rings out. If you add a little bit of overdrive to your signal, or maybe chorus, even some delay, it'll make that upper note pop. Tapped harmonics, you can do some interesting percussive things, which maybe you can't do with the others, but you can explore those. And again, the simple technique is you fret a note, you go halfway between the bridge point and that fretted note, and you tap the same note an octave higher, and you get a harmonic. So those are 3 ways to play harmonics. You can definitely do a lot with them. I love playing like a real note and then 2 harmonics on top. Find them. You can get these really cool sounds, to really kind of combine and make some unique voices on the bass. So there you go, harmonics. This is a very introductory primer. There's a world of things to do without it. You want to listen to Michael Manring, Stu Hamm, Steve Bailey. Billy Sheehan does some excellent things with the pinched harmonics and the tapped harmonics. And see what you can do with them, and see what kind of new colors you can add to your playing. So there you have it. Harmonics are yours for the taking. So if you have any questions, please email me at dalt@danabygoods.com. Thanks a lot.